What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is the creation of our mind. Buddha. Hey, it's Brad Ross from BradCoachMe.com, and welcome to Lesson 5 of your 7-day e-coaching course. Today, we are going to be talking about how the mind and how our thoughts ultimately determine our entire life experience. Now that you've gone through the lessons in day number 4 and examined your personal fears and potential barriers, you've already begun the process of developing your mind. Now, when I say develop the mind, I'm really talking about reaching an elevated level of understanding regarding the connection between your mind, your body, and the results that you want out of life. An important distinction to make before we discuss the mind any further is that our mind is simply a part of us. Too often people identify themselves with their mind when in truth, well, our mind is just another part of our being, like our arms or our legs. Even more importantly, we have the ability to control our mind by choosing our own thoughts. And that's right, we choose our thoughts, whether we realize it or not. Unfortunately, many people are in the habit of choosing negative thoughts, even when they don't realize they're doing so. For example, if you've lived your whole life believing that another person's opinion is more important than your own, then you would have accepted any negative criticism as the truth, regardless of whether it served you or not. In fact, someone's negative comment to you at some point in your life may have caused you to abandon your dream. I've seen this before with coaching clients. Well, unless you learned how to choose new thoughts regarding other people's opinions, you would never be able to change these results. If you would like to learn more, I would suggest that you read the article entitled Self-Talk: How Thoughts Affect Feelings by Jerry Waxler. The empowering realization is that your ability to choose thoughts is always available to you. You have the power to habituate new thought patterns or beliefs that support your passions and your goals in life. Habituating this new way of thinking is not something that's going to happen overnight. Don't expect miracles. But like any other good habit, it takes consistency and repetition. This e-coaching course has been designed not only to help you develop new habits, but to understand why you're developing. When I work with my coaching clients, this is why our early sessions are so important, because it's where we work on the habits that they've gotten themselves into, that may be bad habits, that may be self-destructing habits, and fix those before we move on to actual goals, before we move on to the action-taking sections. Remember in Lesson 1 when I asked you to identify your life passions? Well, in a minute I'm going to ask you to dwell on those ideas, because that's where we are focusing in on now. Now that we're really getting into our own mindset and we're understanding what we're actually working on here, we can start focusing now on the actions to take, on the actions to make our passions reality, to make our dreams come true. So right now, I want you to think back to those passions that you listed, and I want you to dwell on those ideas, because the emotional charge that you get from them is going to fuel the required amount of energy inside of your mind and body to complete the exercises that we're about to do. So dig out that list of those passions, and I want you to think about them. Just at the very least, read them out loud to yourself and think about them for a second or two. Just, wow, what those passions mean to you. Go ahead, do that now, and then come back and we'll work on the following exercises. All right, so you've just read through your passions. Hopefully you've gotten that good charge, the fuel is going, you're pumped up about it. I want you to write out a list of current circumstances in your life where you are unhappy with your results. Areas that you're unhappy with your results, go ahead, write that list right now. Put the video on pause and then come right back to me. Okay, so you've got this list of things that you're unhappy with. First, I want you to mentally review your thought patterns or beliefs around each particular issue. What kind of self-talk have you been engaged in? In other words, have you been reinforcing this result at some level of your consciousness? What have you been telling yourself about this? Go ahead and think about that and jot down some notes next to each one. All right. So now that you've jotted down those notes, I want you to start thinking back to your passions, your wants, your desires, and I want you to build an image of how it would look if you were able to produce a new result in this area. If it's fitness, and you're overweight now or just out of shape, what would it look like if you were to produce a new result, to get into shape? How would you look in the mirror? How would you feel? How would others react to you? Use written descriptions here, pictures, audio, video, any other tools necessary to help you think from a perspective of your ideal result. Remember, this can be in any areas: finance, business, fitness, personal, spiritual, any areas that you're working on. Go ahead and do that now. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about how you can continue to work on yourself to replace the self-limiting thought patterns and beliefs with new self-supporting thoughts and new self-supporting beliefs. I'll see you right back here for day 6, where we're going to talk about practice and persistence. Till then, I'm Brad Ross for BradCoachMe.com, saying do what you love and love what you do.